Hello everyone and welcome to today's class. We are going to start with the chapter P block element, and we are going to start this chapter with two groups. Now there are several groups included in this block, that is start from group 13 and ends at group 17, 18. But in the standard 11 we have group 13 and 14. We are going to start this chapter with the electronic configuration of each group. Let's see the electronic configuration of group 13. Now in group 13, the group starts with boron, aluminium, then followed by aluminium, gallium, indium, and thallium. Now the electronic configuration of each group, the electronic configuration of boron is 2s2 2p1. The general electronic configuration is ns2 np1. N is the number of the period to which the elements belong to, like boron belongs to second period, so the electronic configuration is 2s2 2p1. Aluminium belongs to third period, the electronic configuration of aluminium is 3s2 3p1. The gallium belongs to fourth period, the electronic configuration is 4s2 4p1. Indium belongs to fifth period, the electronic configuration is 5s2 5p1. Thallium belongs to sixth period and the electronic configuration is 6s2 6p1. Now more or less this is the trend in the electronic configuration that is followed in group 13, but there is the anomalies comes on the third element, gallium belonging to fourth period. The 3d orbital, the penultimate 3d orbital is filled in the valence shell and included in the valence shell, and the electronic configuration becomes 3d10 4s2 4p1. The similar is followed in the fifth period element, indium. The electronic configuration is 4d10 5s2 5p1. The last element, gallium indium thallium, has another penultimate shell, that is 4f14, that is included in the valence shell, and the penultimate 5d10 electron is also included in the valence shell. So the last element, thallium, belonging to the sixth period, have the electronic configuration of 4f10 5d 4f14 5d10 6s2 and 6p1. Now let's look at the electronic configuration for the group 14 element. Group 14 starts with the element carbon, followed by silicon, germanium, tin, carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead. Now carbon belongs to period second, and the electronic configuration, the general electronic configuration of group 14 is ns2 np2, total of 4 valence electron, that's why it belongs to the 14 group 14. The carbon is second period element, and similarly the electronic configuration is going to be 2s2 2p2. Silicon belongs to third period and the electronic configuration is 3s2 3p2. Germanium belongs to fourth period and the electronic configuration is 4s2 4p2. tin belongs to fifth period and the electronic configuration is 5s2 5p2, and the last one belongs to sixth period and the electronic configuration is 6s2 6p2. In the similar way, the third period element, the fourth period element, that is the third element, germanium, have anomalies in the electronic configuration. The 3D penultimate shell is filled with 10 electron and it is included in the valence shell, and the electronic configuration becomes for germanium is 3d10 4s2 and 4p2. This trend is followed in the tin and the electronic configuration becomes 4d10 5s2 5p2 also. The last one, lead, has another anomaly in its electronic configuration, just like in the group 13 last element, that was thallium. The pre-penultimate shell, that is the 4f, have 14 electron and it is included in the valence shell. So the electronic configuration is 4f14 5d10 6s2 6p2. Let's study some question answer and see how this chapter proceeds. The first question that we are going to talk about is this question. It is saying that atomic radius of gallium is somewhat less than that of the aluminum, and why. Let's look at the atomic electronic configuration of aluminum and gallium first. The electronic configuration of aluminum is 3D, sorry, it's not going to be 3D, 3s2 3p1, and that of gallium is 3d10 4s2 4p1. So the question is saying that the atomic radius of gallium is shorter, less compared to the aluminum. Now, as gallium is below aluminum in the group, the radius of the gallium, the atomic radius of the gallium was supposed to be more compared to aluminum, but gallium comprises 10d orbital as the inner electron, which is having a very poor shielding effect. It cannot shield, this 10d electron cannot shield the effective nuclear charge effectively. As a result of that, the valence shell experience comparatively higher amount of nuclear charge, and as a result of that, the contraction in the volume occurs. That's why instead of increase in the volume, increase in the radius from aluminum, the radius of gallium becomes comparatively shorter than aluminum. That is the reason why the radius of gallium is less compared to aluminum. The second question is saying, explain the order of the first ionization enthalpy. Now, the question is that explain the order of the first ionization enthalpy of group 14. Incomplete question is I have written down group 14. Now, group 14 comprises carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead. Down the group, the size of these compounds, these elements increases. As a result, the valence electron becomes more stays more far away from the nucleus, and the effective nuclear charge decreases over the valence electron. So the removal of valence electron becomes easier down the group, which results in the ionization enthalpy also. That's why when moving from carbon to lead, from top to bottom in the group 14, the first ionization enthalpy decreases. The third question is, the first ionization enthalpy of group 13 elements are lower than those of the elements of group 2. Let's look at the general electronic configuration of group 2 and group 13. Now group 2 general electronic configuration is NS2. NS2, and for group 13 the general electronic configuration is NS2 NP1. Now during the first ionization, the NP, the only electron in the NP for group 13 is removed, which results in an full-filled atomic or full-filled noble gas electronic configuration, and this gives us stability. So group 13 elements tend to lose this NP electron. That's why the first ionization enthalpy is facilitated. Whereas in the group 2, the first ionization enthalpy, during the first ionization enthalpy, the NS electron is removed, which is already in a very stable, fulfilled, stable electronic configuration, and this is disrupted, this is destroyed, this stability is destroyed due to the first ionization. That's why it actually hindered the first ionization. For group the first ionization is actually hindered in group 2. That is the reason why the first ionization enthalpy for group 13 is lesser compared to the group 2, whereas it was supposed to be higher, because in the same period group 13 elements reside in the right hand side of the group 2 element, and according to the periodicity we know that the elements residing towards the right hand side of the periodic table comprises higher enthalpies, ionization enthalpy. That is not the case for group 13 and group 2. The next question, the fourth question is saying that SiH3N is weaker Lewis acid compared to CH3N. Now this is because of their structure. Let's look at the structures of both these nitrogen compounds. Let's look at the structure of CH3 first. Now nitrogen, electronic configuration 2s 2p. The ground state electronic configuration is this is the ground state electronic configuration. In excited state nitrogen, like in the case for this compound, will be formed when CH3, the carbon in CH3 alkyl group will share one electron with each electron in the nitrogen in the nitrogen atom, and thus will form 3 sigma bonds. So the hybridization will be sp3. Now we know that sp3 gives tetrahedral structure. So the structure of CH3 whole 3 NH is going to be pyramidal. Pyramidal shape. Let's look at the structure and geometry of the SiH3 whole 3N molecule. Now in the similar way, nitrogen in excited state in the compound SiH3 whole N will have the hybridization, but an excited state in which the one of the electron in the paired electron in ns orbital, in the 2s orbital, will jump to the np 2p orbital, and it will reorient the electronic configuration like this, and then the sharing of the electron will occur from silicon with each of the electron in the nitrogen atom, thus forming 3 sigma bond in this way. And the hybridization as a result of this kind of sharing of electron will give sp2 hybridization. Now, why this sp2 hybridization? We know that the geometry is triagonal bipyramidal, sorry, triagonal planar. So the shape is going to be like this. Pure p orbital comprising the lone pair of electron and 3 SiH3 group resides on the triagonal plane. Now, why this hybridization specifically is adopted by this particular molecule is because of this bond that is occurred between the nitrogen and silicon atom. Now, silicon has vacant d orbital and nitrogen silicon bond, during nitrogen silicon bond, which comprising the lone pair of electron, this kind of overlapping occurs between the d orbital and the p orbital of nitrogen. This kind of overlapping is known as d pi p pi bonding. This kind of d pi p pi bonding gives stability to this structure, and this can only occur if the silicon and nitrogen molecule resides in the same plane. That's why this triagonal planar structure is adopted in this particular SiH H3 whole 3n molecule, so that d pi p pi bonding can be occurred between the silicon and nitrogen bonds. That is why this molecule cannot be act as a good Lewis acid, as the lone pair of the electron on the nitrogen is involved in the d pi p pi bonding for this particular molecule. That is not the case for this molecule, because in this molecule the lone pair is available for the donation. For that's why the Lewis acidity order, if we compare the Lewis acidity of this two nitrogenous compound, CH3 whole 3n is found to be much more acidic, Lewis acid, much more Lewis acidic much more Lewis basic compared to the SiH3 whole 3n. The fifth question is saying that the stability of +1 oxidation state follows the order Al aluminium less than gallium less than indium less than thallium. Now explain. Now this can be explained on the basis of electronic configuration. When we are going down the group in the order from aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium, incorporation of 3d orbital and 4f orbital, 3d electron and 4f electron is occurring. Now the 3d electron and 4f electron are very poor shielder. It cannot shield effectively the nuclear charge over the valence shell electron. As a result, excess amount of nuclear charge is experienced by the valence shell, specifically the ns orbital electrons, 2 electrons residing in the ns orbital, valence orbital. Now, what happens with this is that down the group, due to the lanthanide contraction that occurs in the D block and A block elements, due to that lanthanide contraction, the size of the due to the lanthanide corner, more excess amount of nuclear charge is experienced by this ns orbital, and as it experienced much more amount of nuclear charge, the ns electron becomes almost inert in nature. What that I'm trying to say, inert in nature, meaning that it is very difficult to remove in this ns electron down the group compared to the groups in its electron in the element that is residing in the upper portion of this group. like in the gallium for indium. But in the down the group, like for indium and specifically for thallium, the Ns electron becomes completely inert, almost completely inert, because it is very becomes difficult to remove this electron. The ionization enthalpy becomes a very higher due to this lanthanide contraction and the incorporation of poor shielding 4f and 14f electron and the 10d electron. That is the reason why instead of the all the valence electron, instead of removing all the valence electron to produce +3 oxidation state, the down the group +1 oxidation state stability increases and +3 oxidation state stability decreases. Why boron is unable to form B3 plus ion? Now, boron is an excessively small atom with only 2s and 2p1 electron. It can easily accept 3 electron more, but it can easily remove its all 3 electrons, and they thus can form the stable inner fulfill orbital stability. But as boron is excessively small, as boron is extremely small, the effective nuclear charge over these 3 2s2p electrons are extremely high, and due to a small size, it is very difficult to actually remove this electron. The ionization enthalpy, the total 3 ionization enthalpy is excessively high. That's why instead of forming instead of removing 3 electron, boron actually accept electron to full its valence valence shell. That is the reason why boron is unable to form B3 plus ion. The last question is, thallium +3 salt act as a strong oxidizing agent. Now, thallium is group 3 element residing in the 6th period, is the last element in group 3. As I was saying that the last element comprises 14f electron along with 10d electron and also faces lanthanide contraction. The 2 electron in the s orbital becomes almost inert. So to produce this +3 oxidation state, the thallium has to the total 3 ionization enthalpy for thallium is so high that this +3 oxidation state becomes excessively unstable for thallium. On the other hand, the +1 oxidation state is much more stable, which is why the salt of thallium comprising +3 oxidation state tends to accept electron and move to the +1 oxidation state. By doing this process, thallium, as a result of this process of accepting electron, it oxidizes other element. That is why thallium in +3 oxidation state act as a very strong oxidizing agent.